As you can see, I got the spray paint and I got my tape measure. Right, so I've got the tape measure out. I'm going to be tight. End of that blue line, Jake. Make sure it's on the end. I called in Mrs. Koi Whisperer. We've put down the measurement. We said we always had a plan B. I've got 2 drawings. Right then, so this here is coming down. I'm on YouTube. I've got a Facebook and I've got an Instagram. We got that Sunday roast going on. Look at that. Absolutely handsome. I ain't no chippy, but when I built this, but look at the pond now. The pond looks massive without that roof on it. They timber, but it ain't exactly gone down yet, has it? Oh, now you have. I got the beast out again. Thank you, mother of the rabbits. I've got another load. I've ran out of bags. I'm going to build a temporary pond in here and house a couple of my favourite fish. Bit of a change of plan what happened today. So, as you can see, I got the spray paint and I got my tape measure. I'm going to map out the area. I've got to make sure I've got plenty of room for a filter house. Got plenty of room for pipe work. I need to make sure I've got room to get around, to access things. Jacob, stop staring at that tree. Right, so I got the little Jakey out today. He's going to be helping me do a bit of work today, do a bit of measurements, isn't you, boy? It looks a lot bigger than what it actually is. That wall is not quite a 90-degree angle there. It's on a hell of a slope, sloping inward. Time I put my foundations in to get the pond square, I'm going to lose a lot of space behind the back of there. So let me just get this all measured up, see if it can be done. 11 foot in length and 8 foot in width. That's the smallest that I want it to be. That will hold approximately 11 by 8 by 5 foot in depth, will hold approximately 2,900 gallon of water, approximately. Could be in and out a little bit, but that's the smallest I want it to be. So if it can't be done here, this pond will have to come down just way up one job at a time. That's all we can do. That's all we can do, and that's all I have been doing. So let's have a look at this, see what can be done. Right, so I've got the tape measure out. I'm just going to plumb up. And I've got to remember I've got a skimmer here as well. And I want 2 showers to be fitted. So 11 foot across, minimum, with a half a foot gap down that end, brings me to there, of the garden. So that's 11 foot across. And then we want at least 8 foot this way. And I'm going to be tight. Down there on that end of that blue line, Jake, make sure it's on the end. Make sure we're 8 foot across. Make sure the tape measure's flat. Move your foot, that's it. You're on the end good, yeah? Yeah. Right. And then what we'll do, we'll grab this bit of timber now, mark up with that line there, mark up with that line there, and then we draw a straight edge across there. Using a bit of old timber I've got, just to do a straight edge, just to work out if it can be done, but it's going to be super, super tight. And I think the old pond has to come down to get it how I want it to be. And if I'm doing that, then the pond's going to be built in a different place anyway, because realistically, it's not where we want it. And the old bit of equipment, a bit of spray paint. A lot of builders use it when they're plumbing out stuff. String lines or all of that malarkey. So now we're going to do a straight edge from there to there and work out that. I called in Mrs. Koi Whisperer. We've put down the measurements and I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy with how big the pond will be. Time my block work goes in, you've got 9 inches of block that way and that way on all corners. The pond itself from here to here will not be wide enough. Time you allow for block work, I mean this will have to come out anyway, so I can come this way and this way, but it's still not enough playing room to allow pipe work with this being in the way. Time your block work goes in, I'm 11 foot across here. The time your block work goes that side and your block work goes that side, your inside measurements just under 10 foot, and that's smaller than what I've got at the moment. So it's not physically possible for me to build a pond up here. We just had a think, we're just talking and planning The boy's annoyed because he just wants to get digging. He come out, I told him he can start digging today, so he just wants to start digging. I said, it's not worth digging until we get it right. It's got to be right and plumbed out properly before we can dig. What we just thought about was maybe coming up further to the garden and leaving this as a walkway, moving the gate over here so we can still get access to the back garden, etc, etc. Really is why I've left all of this area, because I have left a massive area there. But there's, what was the measurements there, love? 7.5 foot or 8 foot across. So we're 8 foot across there, but I need that room for the time your ball valves come up and your skimmers and your filters, and in a filter house properly, I need all of that room. I could still put a gate there with the filter house here because I could walk through. That was the idea, put like a door here and a door there and then a gate. That was the idea, but it's not really working out. So what we're thinking, so as you can see above me here, we got the roof on the old pond. So we're going to take this down, get rid of that completely. The idea is that we use all of this timber, take it up to my parents' farm, flatten my old pond, so the pond would come all the way up to this side of the garden, and then filter a house on the end, which will allow me to bring the pond out further, because where this pond's built down the back of my garden, so that will allow for pipe works, you know, shower filters, skimmers, and all those bits and pieces that you need to make sure you think about when you build a pond. Because when I first built this pond over here, should I say, I didn't think about those things. I just built a pond as big as I could fit it in, and I didn't think about all those little things that you definitely need. We've got to take down this roof at some point anyway, so we just as well take it down today. It's a banging day, and if we can use the materials to build a pond, then we'll build a pond on my mum's farm, house the fish up there, and that will give us as much time as we want to do this pond and get the pond exactly how we want it to be. The downside about it is moving from obviously building here the weekends and still going up to maintain the fish, because my mum's busy. My mum can't just look after my fish for me. It is a full-time job being a koi hobbyist. I haven't got a drum filter yet. So on this pond it's still all done manually. So coming into spring, a lot of you know, this is why I'm a bit put off by doing it. A lot of you know that you have to make sure that you check your water quality. You have to make sure you're on board in case there's a problem with any of your fish. You have to make sure of all of these things. Spring is very, very close. If you're ever going to get a problem in the koi world, this is the time of year where you get a problem. So if I'm going to be moving fish, upsetting their environment, upsetting the media that is not even biologically matured yet because the water temperatures has been too cold, this is when you get a problem. And this is a risk that I'm taking to make sure I get this dream pond. But you come across a hurdle in all sorts of things you get up to. But there's one thing you got to do, is keep jumping over it. Just keep jumping over them, one at a time. I will get there. Happy, happy days. We've sorted a few things out. We've got a little bit of an idea. Like we said, we always had a plan B. I've got two drawings all mapped out and exactly how I want it. I haven't done blueprint. I've done it with pen and paper, the old-fashioned way. And I don't want to show you what I've done and all the ideas straight away until I know it can fit. If it can't fit, then I can't show you. So imagine the pond where it is, come out the conservatory, which I really love that feature about my pond. All of the year round, even if it's raining, whatever, don't matter what it is, I can stand inside my conservatory and I can view my koi, I can see my koi, and when we have dinner you can still see the fish. The second plan is to keep the pond where it's 2, come out an extra almost 18 inches from here all the way up through, across and in. There to here I can have filter house. One advantage if I keep the pond where it's 2, I won't have to get rid of as much earth. I'm also thinking in my head, all the blocks around the pond that I've already got, I can use that hammerjacker and I can save a hell of a lot of those blocks and use them for the extension of the next pond. So I'm thinking to myself, realistically, it's a better idea anyway. This was always an option to keep all of my fish and make my life easy. Honest opinion, I think that the pond has to be here. For our shape of a garden, with the overhang what it would be if I'd done it here, we would have such a small garden with the conservatory, it just wouldn't work. The wife isn't happy about it the way it is here. I'm not really happy about it the way it is here. So we're going to do it over here. We're going to start taking it down bit by bit. Obviously leave the fish in there for as long as possible until I get a pond built up my parents' farm. Take it down bit by bit.
And that's what we're doing today. It's a lovely weekend. We're going to get as many things sorted as we can. All of this decking, all of the wood that I take down, if I can reuse it to build another pond, if I can use and save as much things as possible, get it up the farm, because I've got loads of this OSB left as well, so I can use that to make a frame. It will only be the matter of buying a cheap liner or something to put inside of it. I could just go out and buy a paddling pool, but a lot of them are quite expensive, and I don't really want to be putting my fish in a paddling pool for the time that it's going to be. If I'm going to set up another pond, I'm just going to build another pond, which will be, it will only be a temporary pond, but it will be a lot more suitable for the fish environment of my fish for however long I need to house them. I'm cracking on. I've got a hell of an idea. Will it work? Won't it work? Well, I will get there. I am the Koi Whisperer, and I keep coming across hurdles. Hurdles are only something you need to jump over, and I'll jump them. I'll keep jumping. But this is coming down. Let me just get this down and I'll show you what's happening. Happy, happy days. So I've got to take down my light here. I've got to take down my hive camera. I've also got another light up there I've got to take down. All of the cables behind the back. A lot of it can be reused again, but it's just a matter of taking it down and starting again. Got to take down these. If you don't know, obviously I'm on YouTube. I've got a Facebook and I've got an Instagram. On the Facebook and the Instagram, I always do updates. I do things to come, things what's happening, little sneak previews of videos. So definitely come over, join my Instagram page as well. Follow me on there, follow me on there, and follow me on there. This is going to be one hell of a project, and I will get it done. But we're going to take down all of this along the back today. We're just going to take the whole pond down eventually. And then we'll do as much as we can while keeping this pond running until we move them. Isn't that right, son? What have you got, the Makita drill, boy? Yeah. That's the hammer then. So you can start taking these off. I'm not sure what to do about these yet. I might end up putting them on my Facebook or Instagram. And, well, I don't know what to do. I might even give them away to somebody. Get it off, boy. What's you doing, a bit of car maintenance there, look? Perfect.
One thing at a time, it will all come down. Just got to watch I don't get any screws in the pond at the moment. I did this one myself as well. There is videos on my channel. If you want to flip back, have a look of how I made these. All DIY. All done with a Dremel, carved out a few Japanese signs. Certainly made the garden a bit of a theme, and I really liked it. But this time round it's doing something slightly bit different. So like I said, a lot of this stuff I'm not sure what to do with it. I might even just give it away. We've had some fun with this old area, haven't we? I screwed E down as well so he couldn't go anywhere. Get on, Harry!
'Tis all go on a Sunday. We got that Sunday roast going on. Look at that. Absolutely handsome. Mrs. Koi Whisperer doing a fantastic job today. Purely the fact of I'm out doing a bit of maintenance. The boy over there doing a bit of... What's he doing? Mashing up a bit of Swede, boy?
Yes, I'm doing.
That's the hammer, likes that. Get Dick Swede munching right up, son. Oh, yeah. You shouldn't be doing it on the cooker, though, because that's how they break. Shouldn't be doing it on the cooker.
Yeah,
Yeah. Do it on a bit of worktop.
You're doing it there anyway. It's on. Go on to Canico.
Get on, boy. Look at that. God, I'm going to whack this down my neck and then get out and do a bit more pond work. You got to love a Sunday. Happy, happy days. I mean, I ain't no chippy, but when I built this, I didn't do an half good job on it. Bit overkill. There was no reason for this many structures along this roof. Originally, there was no galvanised on top of the pond, so this was acting more of a shade more than to keep the rain out. But over the years, I decided to put a roof on it just because of the rainwater. Rainwater can affect your pH in a koi pond, so I wanted to keep all of that out if possible. But yeah, I certainly got my work cut out. What I'm finding, some of the screws that I've put in, let me just find you a couple a minute, couple back here. They're snapping off inside, and well, To be fair, they should have used stainless steel ones. These are just normal wood screws. It has been up here a good few years now, so hopefully I can save all these bits and I'll be able to build my temporary pond out of all of this. That's the plan. So if I can save it instead of just ripping it, I've got to get over this side, bit dangerous now, stand on top of here and go all the way across that lot. Little video clips don't do it justice. It's about 10-20 minutes work there, just taking out all these screws. So I'm going to get around that side, do the same to this, and then we can take this off. Then we take the underneath beams off. This whole frame out of 3x2s. Just because that's what I had at the time. We're certainly getting there. One job at a time, one day at a time. But as you can see from underneath, it didn't look too bad before I put the galvanising on. And it did give it a nice effect, to be fair, especially with the decking on the front there before I took it all off. One job at a time. One job at a time.
One screw at a time, baby. The problem what's happening is every screw I'm taking out snapping. He just snapped as well.
We have it. Load of wood all stacked up. I'm sure I'll be able to make a structure for a pond with all of this wood. Not a problem whatsoever. But look at the pond now. The pond looks massive without that roof on it. But it's going to look a lot bigger when I'm finished with it anyway. Thank you, mother for the rabbits. Next job. Going to go and have a quick cup of tea in a minute because time is knocking on. There's only so many hours in a day and there's only so many days in a week, so you've got to make the most of it every day of the week. Next job, I've got to take out this sort of frame, whatever you want to call it. Looks like a Japanese sort of, don't even know what they call them, but you know what I mean. So I've got to take out that concrete in that bottom block next, take out these two posts, get them out the way, one extra job done. Then I'm going to take all of this off the back of the pond. Well, I might even wait for that. I might have a bit of a tidy up. We'll see how we get on. But I'm going to go and have a cup of tea. I need a cup of tea. Whenever I build something, I build it so it doesn't get took apart. That it shouldn't get brought down or that it stays there for the rest of its life. So this is why I've got such a job on my hands by taking this existing pond down. I've got to dig out all of this concrete. I've probably put in well more than what I needed on that side and that side. So I'm going to have to bring out the big old beastie tool again, start whacking that up. But my plan is to dig all the way around it. Hopefully I'll be able to get it out in one piece and then I can just chip the concrete off of the wood. That's the plan. That's the idea. One job at a time. As I keep saying, these one jobs, I tell you what, I wonder how many jobs I get done before the new pond is actually up and running and I can sit down with a can of beer over there, watch the fish over here and say, thank you, mother of the rabbits. Happy days. One thing I did have though, I had a bit of an incident with me fish. So taking down these bits of wood, doing it on my own, one of the lengths, caught hold of the fish, and well, I've got a crack from his head all the way down through. So I might be able to fix it, I might not. Well, these things happen when you build ponds and do stuff the way I do stuff, but never mind. But I've definitely got a decent amount of wood there, so I'll be able to do something with that for sure. 100% make a pond. I'll show you that as I get to it. I'll show you where that pond's going to be as well. Be a good little video, just building myself a temporary pond as well to watch out for. Let's get these out and we'll just tick that job off the list.
Always surprises me how much earth comes out of bloody oak. It's crazy. Hopefully though, I should be able to pull it out. See what I mean about how much concrete I puts in? Certainly don't blow down with no Devon weather, I'll tell you that much. We could say timber, but it ain't exactly gone down yet, has it? Oh, now you have. Ah! Over putting concrete in. That's too much. There's no need to put that much in, but I do. I always do. Because this is more of a workout than any gym you can go to. Get on, boy! No rest for the wicked. Thank you, mother, for the rabbits.
So I got the beast out again. Just took all that concrete off. When I put these posts in the ground, don't know why, I thought it was a good idea for the concrete to have something to bind against. I put in a load of screws into this timber at the bottom. By God, that was hard to get out. I'll bag this up. We got some more stuff to dump over the farm. I'll get all this bagged up. I'll knock this off first, and then I'll get this bagged up.
That's the ammo there.
So, as you can see, I've got another load. I've ran out of bags, but I've got another good couple of loads I need to get rid of over the farm. I'll get that done this week, after work, during lunch breaks, and I'll get it sorted. And then it'll be clear, ready for the next job. But I'm thinking I'm going to build a temporary pond in here and house a couple of my favourite fish, and the rest of them I'm thinking that I'm going to part with. It's going to be a hard decision to make. I think I'm going to build a pond in here, but that's still a bit imminent and ahhing at the moment. I've got a load of wood here, all come down from the roof, so I'll probably build the pond out of this. I've got some OSB as well, so I'll use this as the structure. But like I said, I'll weigh up the situation, measure it, see if it can be done, and I'm only housing a couple of my favourite fish. Right then, guys, so bit of a change of plan what happened today. It was always on my mind, like I said before in previous videos. If you haven't been watching or following and seeing what's going on, I explained earlier on in videos that I tried mapping out an area back here, seeing if it will work. And if it did work, happy days. If it didn't work, I knew all of that concrete had to go no matter what anyway. I'm going with my original idea. I will show you my drawings. I will show you my plan. I know I've got plenty of room to build the pond where I want to build it here anyway. But that being said, I've had a good clear up in the garden. I've put the dog board back so she can't jump over or box a dog, get all muddy and all of that running through the house. You don't want that. This is going to be a big project. There's loads more videos to come. I'm just doing things in stages as we go. I'm only limited on how many hours I've got of the weekend anyway. But when you work full time like myself, it's hard to fit it all in. But I'm doing my very best. I will get there one day at a time. And well, that's about it for this weekend, to be fair. I'm completely knackered. I've been grafting all week, all weekend, all week, all weekend, all week, all weekend for 3 or 4 weeks now. And well, the sun's just about dipping down. I'm going to go in, wash up, sort myself out like you do, settle down for the evening, and then work tomorrow. But next weekend I'm really going to look at building that pond out the front of the house. Like I was saying earlier on, I'm thinking about housing a couple of my fish, a couple of my favourites. I won't tell you which ones, you probably already know. I can't physically build the pond on my parents' farm. I've asked my parents, they said that they would house them for me. Thinking about it long term, it's a long project. And we're coming into that time of year at the moment where you've got to be on top of the game. You've got to be on top of it. If, you know, your water quality starts going downhill, if there's a problem with parasites, water temperatures start warming up, I've always wanted to house my fish at home so I can look after them. If I can do that out the front and house most of my fish, there's a couple that I can move on, but there's some fish that I've got that I just can't part with and I can't replace. Like I said, I've been offered my koi dealer. I've been up to him. He will house my fish for me at £150 a week, which is just well out of my budget. For how many weeks this is going to take me, it's just too much. He has offered to buy all of my fish off me at a trade price, but it's more that they're my fish and I just don't want to lose them all. So, on that note, subscribe, like the video, happy ponding, and I'll see you on the next one.